Brian Shields has been chatting about the snow potential around Boston and New England for the last several days. Let's get to the latest data. Meteorologist Matt Makins here. Welcome to Snow Bros. It's Friday. It's January 16th. Snow potential across New England is highest once you hit the Maritimes, but still an inch or two possible around Providence into Boston. Let's dissect this system as it begins to approach. Total water, it's going to be impressive just offshore. Still a little bit of wiggle room. Still some details this weekend that Brian and I will be covering here on the channel. If you're subscribed, you'll get the alerts and we'll let you know if that water comes closer to shore, comes closer to the Cape or Boston, Providence, even New York. But let's see what the system is doing. Okay, we had some rainfall move by this morning. Here it is this morning. Let's go forward in time. There's that system. We'll have a little bit of clearing sky for a short time. Here's system number 2. As we head toward the lunch hour, we're starting to see the clouds increasing again throughout New York, throughout Pennsylvania, approaching Massachusetts. Watch as the rainfall around the Great Lakes begins to move in, and it gets some energy here down to the south. I mean, we have freezing temperatures possible in Florida, light snowfall possible all the way down to the southeast. Watch as that moisture moves in. Here we are tonight at 8 o'clock. We're starting to see the rain and the snow begin to move into much of New England. As we go into tomorrow morning, we're split between flows here. One is kind of closer to the Gulf Stream, heavier rainfall there. May come a little bit closer to shore, but what it's fighting against is this system, this moisture that's just off to the west of Boston. Both systems will be sliding on by as we go into the Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon. Gets heavier as we go toward the Maritimes, and then we'll have some leftover pockets of snowfall throughout the weekend and early next week that will move back towards, say, Boston, Philly, D.C., New York, and Brian and I'll have continued details on those as they emerge throughout the weekend. Let's get into some greater snow details here. I took the terrain or the ocean temperatures off the map so you can really see the blues popping up. That's snowfall. Rainfall in green. We'll look for areas of ice too. Just to set the stage, there's our main system. As we go Friday night into Saturday morning, seeing snow across the Great Lakes, New England, rainfall down to the south and east. The system moves north. We have rain, ice, and snow surrounding Boston as we go toward late Saturday afternoon into Sunday. And we're still seeing the progression here throughout the weekend of on and off chances of snow from that parent area around the Great Lakes, continuing to send some energy toward the coastal areas. I'm going to fly this map in, get a bit more specific. So all of New England, here we have Halifax for reference. Here's Augusta, Boston, Providence, on down to Philly. Okay, watch with that perspective as we go Friday night. Some rain, snow, and icing up in the Maritimes, but that's not the main event. Here comes a better push of some snowfall. This is Saturday at 1 o'clock in the morning. Snowfall from St. George's to Burlington on down to the south, close to Baltimore and D.C. Watch as we go toward earlier Saturday morning. Some folks, some kiddos waking up in Boston Saturday morning with the potential of seeing some snowfall. But look what happens right along I-95 and 90. Here's 95. Rainfall to the east of 95. Snowfall to the west. 95 being a very firm cutoff point here. Man-made cutoff point, if you will, as we go toward. This is going to be 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Let's go into Saturday afternoon. Still some rain potential out by the Cape. We got to get some colder air here around the Cape if we're going to change everything over to snowfall. Still a possibility. And Brian and I will have updated videos on that throughout the weekend. So subscribe so you get those alerts when they happen. But watch as that rain-snow combo continues and really begins to favor coastal areas with the rainfall. Snow stays toward the inland areas. How many times have we seen that? It's frustrating from a snow lover perspective if we're not going to get the snow closer to the coast. Let's watch as we get even tighter here. Here's New York, Newport, New Bedford, Boston, Salem. So I just zoomed that map down. Let's take a look at that on a closer perspective. And again, 95, along 95 and east, that's the rain potential. There's a little window of opportunity. This is why I zoomed that map in, to give you greater detail. But towards Saturday, late afternoon, into the evening, there's a little hint that we may see some icing. Likely to be light, but just wanted to let you know, anybody traveling along 90, which is here, or 95 down here, any of those local highways, local roads, a little bit of a potential Saturday evening for some icing. Let's talk about totals. Brian has given you the breakdown the last couple of days between GFS and the European model. Let's do that same thing. Here's GFS for weekend snowfall. Boston, half an inch. Go out toward Pittsfield, we're closer to 3 inches. Closer to 3 around Bridgeport, Waterbury, down to New York City at a couple of inches. Philly may be an inch and a half or so. That's according to the American model, the GFS. Let's flip over and look at the Euro. Now it's got a little colder air, so it's highlighting some colder potential here, getting closer to I-95, but still Boston, half inch, New London, just shy of an inch, Bridgeport, about 2 inches, Patterson, about 2.5 inches or so, Utica, right around 3 inches, and Syracuse at 4. So that's the combo just on that tight zoom map for between Boston down toward New York City. We're going to expand that map. So here we have the Maritimes, Halifax, about 8 centimeters possible this weekend. Moncton to Fredericton, about 5 or 7 centimeters. Augusta, we've got about 2 inches. Syracuse, again, there's 3. That's what the American model. Let's flip to the European, and you can see a big time change in those totals for the Maritimers. So now we're talking about 20-inch potential in Halifax, Yarmouth about 16, St. John 12, Moncton about 13. So a big difference there in the Maritimes between the two models. Which one is more likely to be accurate? I'd place my money and put my tokens a little closer to the Euro side, this side, than the other. But it's a combination here. We're dealing with rain and snow throughout the Maritimes. So Euro has bigger snowfall totals because it's a hint colder. And that likely is the play out because most of this should try to arrive either, if it didn't fall early this morning, it's going to try to come in late Saturday into Sunday morning. A good time to get some snowfall. So what we're tracking for you. Systems hit throughout the weekend. Further updates, more videos on the way. Mix of rain and snow for the areas along the coast. And there's a little bit of wiggle room on that as well. Can we squeak out a little bit more snowfall? If the system slows down by even 3 or 6 hours, and we'll let you know that if that happens, that allows colder air to come in. And all of a sudden, Boston, we'll be talking about a bit more snowfall than this little tease that's likely to come through this weekend. We'll have more details on that. Thank you for following Snow Bros. Subscribe so you get those latest alerts. We're on top of it for you. We'll be tracking the snow through your weekend.